With that, I'll turn it over to the Secretary Buttigieg.
Thanks, Paul. So, Mr. President, on day one, you directed us to do everything possible to support the state of Maryland from a DOT perspective. That has mainly meant supporting the Maryland DOT on 4 lines of effort. Help them get the port back open, deal with the supply chain implications in the meantime, help them get the bridge back up, and deal with the surface traffic implications in the meantime. As Paul mentioned, the $60 million was the first wave of emergency relief funding. We were able to turn that around within hours of it coming in. That is a down payment and just the beginning, but as more requests come in, we'll make sure that we can turn them around right away too. When it comes to supply chains, a number of the mechanisms that you established to deal with the issues we had in 2021 on the West Coast are serving us well now on the East Coast. As you know, this is the top vehicle handling port that we have in the United States. The ports of Davisville, Rhode Island, as well as Virginia and Brunswick in Georgia have been able to temporarily absorb much of the traffic that would have been headed for Baltimore. But there's no long-term substitute, of course, for the work that's done right here in Baltimore. When it comes to containers, most of that's getting picked up at the Port of Virginia and New York and New Jersey. And then when it comes to heavy equipment, there are some specialized ports absorbing that traffic too. But the focus is, of course, to support Baltimore and make sure they can get back up and running. Yesterday, we were able to execute a revised grant agreement from our Maritime Administration with the County of Baltimore. That relates to the Sparrows Point Trade Point facility. You'll notice this is the only major component of the Port of Baltimore that sits outside of the blocked area. They have 10,000 vehicle per month capacity. We're going to be able to help them get up to 20,000. Basically, it requires paving about 10 acres of land here to add to their cargo laydown capacity. So by doubling that, we'll be able to provide some relief while the Army Corps and the state are getting the channel back open and traffic back to normal. We're also providing some regulatory relief on the trucking side to help with hours of service requirements for trucks that are involved in the response and any other requests that come in.